guys, today I'm going to do my Booktube-A-Thon wrap up and August TBR. I have to admit the Booktube-A-Thon did not go as well as planned. I did not read 7 books at all. I actually only finished 3 things and read half of another one, so I didn't quite hit my 1,000 page personal goal either, which was a shame. But the start of the week was great. I mean, there was Pokemon stuff going on, but it was really good. But then the second half of the week, it was properly finishing off moving out the house. I have a sad clip here of my bedroom all empty. I'm never going to go in it again, although the new person moving in there is called Laura, so that's a bit weird. But yeah, so there was a lot going on at the end of the week and I just really wasn't thinking about reading. Just to quickly mention though, before the Booktube-A-Thon I finished a reread of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I really loved it. I listened to the audiobook for the first time, which I wasn't the biggest fan of because I just have my own way of reading it in my head and I don't think anyone else's way of reading it can quite compare. But obviously it was still 5 stars. I actually loved this more than I've ever really enjoyed it, because normally this is one of my least favourites, but I just thought it was really good. And before the Booktube-A-Thon I read nearly 200 pages of How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. Me and Amy met him at the start of the month and he was really lovely. It was just a really great event and I was just really happy, and I absolutely love this book, but I was in such a bad slump before the Booktube-A-Thon. It's literally taken me so long. But I didn't want to finish it before the Booktube-A-Thon because I didn't want to have half a book kind of there, so I'm actually still yet to finish this, but it's like top priority for August. So then on to my Booktube-A-Thon wrap up. The first book I finished was Lost Boy by Christina Henry. If you watch the updates in the vlog, I talked a lot about my thoughts on this, so I don't want to go into it too much now, but I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I just thought it was great. It's a Peter Pan retelling focused on Hook, who is Peter Pan's best friend, and he's a lost boy, and it's all kind of about how he stops being so enchanted with Peter Pan in Neverland and he realises Peter's actually quite cruel. Yeah, so I'd really recommend this book for everyone who's a fan of Peter Pan, but it was also just really good writing. It made me really want to pick up Christina Henry's other books. This completed the challenge of read a book with a person on the cover, and then I started a reread of A Dark Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I listened to the audiobook for this while I was getting ready and stuff in the Booktube-A-Thon, and for the first 150 pages I wasn't too keen. I found it really slow, but then around halfway through I really got into it and I absolutely loved the ending. I think I enjoyed it more than the first time I read it. Really glad I reread it as well because I'd forgotten everything basically, and yeah, I just thought this was great. I think knock off a star for how slow it was, and it was a little bit predictable, but I really love the characters and I can't wait to carry on with this series. I'm counting this for completing the challenge of reading a hyped book. Then I read Giant Days Volume 3, which I really enjoyed. This completed the challenge of reading a book in a day because it only took me like an hour or 2 to read, and I felt a little bit out of it to begin with because it's been a little while since I read the first 2, but once I got into it, it was really good, and luckily the story doesn't really carry on, so you don't need to remember that much from previous volumes, but I still love all the characters. I gave this 4 stars. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the other 2, but I definitely want to pick up Volume 4 soon. Then the last thing I read during the Booktube-A-Thon was half of The Last Family in England by Matt Haig. This was the book I picked up after Lost Boy to read physically, and that's when the week kind of got a bit crazy for me, so I didn't actually finish this off, but I well, I am enjoying it. I'm not quite done. I've got like 100 pages left now, but I'm really enjoying it. It's all about a family drama basically told through the perspective of their pet Labrador and how he feels the need to protect them and stop all these bad things from happening, but ultimately he can't really control the varying relationships and people that's going on. There's a bit of mystery to it and I'm just absolutely loving it so far. So that wraps up my Booktube-A-Thon wrap up part of the video. I'll put a page count total on the screen now because I didn't add it up beforehand. And for August, obviously the first priority is to finish The Last Family in England by Matt Haig because I'm absolutely loving it. I should finish it today after filming this video because I've got a big long train journey to Leeds to go and see Robin, so I'm definitely going to finish it on the train. And then after finishing The Last Family in England, I obviously want to also go back to How to Stop Time and finish this off. So that'll be 2 Matt Haig books that I'll just quickly finish off to start my August TBR. So that's kind of taking up the first week of August. We'll be finishing off those 2 books, but after that I'm actually sort of taking part in another readathon. It is Tome Topple, round like 3 or 4, all organised by Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, and I've never done this before, but I really like the idea of it being a readathon based around pushing yourself to read bigger books, and I'm not like super taking part in it, but it'll just be nice to have sprints and stuff because there are 2 big books that I really want to read. The first one is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, which I'm really surprised at myself. I never normally want to read series back to back, but I just loved the end of A Dark Shade of Magic so much. I don't want to forget what happens and I just really want to jump into this book straight away, which doesn't normally happen, so I may as well embrace it while it is. And this just follows on. It follows like Delilah Bard and Kel, and there's some sort of like magic tournament in London, so I think there's a little bit of Hunger Games kind of vibes to this. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I'm just really excited to read this, and this is only 507 pages, so it's only slightly over that 500 page mark, but it is still pretty big and there's small font. But I do have the audiobook for this as well, so I think I'll combine audiobook and reading this physically, and I'm really excited to jump into it. And the next book I want to read in August will probably be the only other thing I read in August, and that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. That's right, I'm actually finally reading this book. It has been on TBRs many times before, but I've never had it in my head so much I want to read it. I'm just in a high fantasy kick from Game of Thrones. It's the perfect time of year because I haven't really got much on and there's Tome Topple, and it just makes sense to read it now. And it's on my summer TBR, and I don't want to just completely fail that and not read any of those books because I think so far I haven't read any of them. But yeah, I just finally want to read this, although it is scarily huge. I mean, well, it's not too bad. It's like 650 pages, which isn't awful, but it's just scary because it's a brand new high fantasy. But I'm really excited to read this. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I'll probably be reading this one physically, and I am fully prepared for it to take up most of August. But if by some miracle I manage to finish those 2 tomes during the Tome Topple Readathon, which is like, I think ends around the 18th of August, something like that, then there is obviously a little bit of August left, so I would like to carry on my Harry Potter reread and read the Illustrated Chamber of Secrets. Don't think this will take very long, and I might even read it whilst I rename the Wind to help break things up. And if my reading hype continues and I manage to read the 2 tomes, Harry Potter, and finish off the 2 Matt Haig books all before the end of August, which probably won't happen, but if I do, I would really like to then read All That She Can See by Carrie Fletcher. This came out in July. I was really hyped for it, but it was right before the Booktube-A-Thon, and again I didn't want half a book read before the Booktube-A-Thon, and I was very slumpy, so I'm really excited to pick this up. Amy did start it and said she absolutely loves it, but I have heard bad things about the second half of the book, but I'm going in with an open mind and hopefully I'll like it as much as the first one. So this is everything I want to read in August, really these 3 books, but also the 2 halves of these, so quite a lot when I all hold it together. But I'm always ambitious with TBRs, but I'm really in a reading mood after the Booktube-A-Thon. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for everyone who commented on our vlogs, and I really enjoyed watching everyone else's videos, and it was just really fun. It was the first time I took part in Twitter sprints and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And even though me and Amy didn't read as much as we'd like, it was really nice to see each other all week and do videos together like nearly every day, and it was just a really fun time. So let me know down below what you enjoyed reading most in July and what you are looking forward to reading in August, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!